Rachel had forgotten about the kidney donation. Not entirely. She thought about it sometimes, late at night. She wondered if the person who received it was alive, was healthy, was living a good life. But mostly she'd moved on. She'd given a gift anonymously and asked for nothing in return. That was enough. 10 years had passed. Rachel worked as a nurse at Memorial Hospital. She was 38 years old, fulfilled in her career, content with her quiet life. She'd never married, never had children. She'd spent her energy helping others, as a nurse, as a donor, as someone who believed in service. One Tuesday morning, a man came into the hospital for a routine checkup. He was in his early 50s, fit and healthy, with warm brown eyes and a gentle smile. He was accompanied by 2 teenagers, a boy and a girl, who clearly adored him. "Dad, you're going to be fine," the girl said, holding his hand. "Dr. Chen said your kidney function is perfect." Rachel overheard the conversation while charting in the hallway. Something made her pause. She looked at the man more carefully. "Excuse me," she said, approaching him. "I'm sorry to intrude, but how long have you had your current kidney?" The man looked surprised by the question. "Almost exactly 10 years," he said. "Why do you ask?" Rachel's heart stopped. "I'm a nurse here. I was just curious." "Do you know your donor?" "No," he said sadly. "It was an anonymous donation. I've never known who saved my life. I think about it every single day. I pray for that person every morning." Rachel couldn't speak. She excused herself and stepped into an empty room, her hands shaking. She pulled up his file. His name was David Chen. 10 years ago, he'd been dying of kidney failure. The kidney he received, her kidney, had given him a second chance. She read through his medical history. 10 years of perfect kidney function. No rejections, no complications. A life fully lived. She looked at his chart more closely. After receiving the kidney, David had married. He'd had 2 children. He'd built a career as a teacher. He'd lived fully and completely because of her sacrifice. Rachel found David before he left the hospital. "Mr. Chen," she said quietly, "I need to tell you something." David looked at her with curiosity. "I'm the one," Rachel said, her voice trembling. "I'm your kidney donor." David's face went completely still. Then tears began streaming down his face. "You," he whispered. "You're the reason I'm alive. You're the reason I have my children. You're the reason I've had 10 years with my family." He pulled Rachel into an embrace, and they stood in the hospital hallway, 2 strangers bound by an invisible thread of sacrifice and gratitude. Over the following weeks, Rachel and David became close. She met his wife, Sarah, who thanked her with tears in her eyes. She met his children, who understood, in the way only young people can, that this woman had given their father life. David asked Rachel to have dinner with his family. Then another dinner, then holidays together. Rachel realized something profound. By giving away a part of herself, she'd gained a family. By sacrificing without expectation of return, she'd received something far greater than any recognition could offer, a genuine connection to the life her sacrifice had created. One evening, David's daughter asked Rachel, "Why did you donate a kidney to a stranger?" Rachel thought about it. "Because everyone deserves a chance to live," she said simply. "Everyone deserves to have a family, to build a life, to matter to someone." David's daughter smiled. "Well, you mattered to us. You matter so much." Rachel understood then that some acts of kindness are seeds. You plant them without knowing if they'll grow. But when they do, when they grow into entire lives, into families, into decades of joy, the harvest is beyond measure. 10 years later, by accident, Rachel had discovered that her sacrifice had created an entire universe of love and possibility.